Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me for a COMC rummage video. Going to take a look at the little stack of cards you see in front of you there. I think somewhere around 15 to 20 singles that I've picked up off COMC over time. And just going to take a look at the randomness that awaits there. But before we get to that, I wanted to give a quick shout out. My longtime hobby buddy, Sean Savage, who I've traded cards with a couple times. I've spoken about him on the channel. In fact, he recently sent me this really awesome Allure Orange Slice Ovi. Beautiful card there, which I showed in a recent video. Anyway, Sean has recently decided to start his own YouTube channel, which I am pumped about. We share a lot of collecting interests, and I'm sure that he's going to have some fantastic content. Already in his first video, I learned about a shiny and acetate hockey insert that I was completely unaware of prior to checking out the video. So, one video in to already stump me and turn me on to a pretty cool set that I had never heard of. That's impressive work, and certainly look forward to what lies ahead for Sean and his channel. I believe he has branded it Sean's Stuff. Great name. And I'll leave a link in the description below. If you have some time to stop by and pay Sean a visit, you won't regret it. He is definitely one of the very, very nice guys in the hobby, and encourage you to check him out. So congratulations, Sean, and certainly looking forward to the rest of the content to come on your channel. And with that being said, let's get down to some COMC pickups. So the lighting might be a little tough in here. I'm shooting this one in the evening, so I don't really have any natural light, but we'll see how this goes. And we have some greats here as a backdrop. And the first card is definitely an example of my total randomness when I am browsing around on COMC, but I love this one. An instant classic debuts, of course, Willy Wonka from the 1970s. Beautiful card out of Topps Heritage. I love this kind of just strange, oddball subject matter for cards. Big fan of that type of stuff. That movie was a classic in my house growing up. So I agree with the instant classic description on that card. We really wore that one out. And I've even watched that one in recent years with my wife, and holds up pretty well. So great film, great card. Happy to have that one. I think it cost me about $1. Here is one for my orange card Z folio, which is exactly what it sounds like. And at the beginning of that Z folio, I have Red Sox orange team sets out of Topps Chrome from the 2000, I think 10 or 11, whenever they started making the orange onward, and needed this Josh Beckett to go into that Z folio. So he'll be moving into that as soon as this video is done. And then moving back a few more decades prior, here's a nice 1964 Bob Hefner. Love the stadium backdrop on this. 64 Topps is one of my favorites of that decade. Just the simplicity of the design and great photographs. I'm a big fan of that one, so needed that for my team set. Here is a see-through acetate Star Wars Tech Chewbacca. Because why wouldn't I want a see-through Chewbacca card in my collection, I guess. And again, these Star Wars Tech cards, you can get these for pennies. I think this was probably about 50 cents. This is just a base card, even though it's nice and shiny. So pretty cool for, a couple for $1 price point. You really can't go wrong. Here's a random sapphire that I grabbed of Ronaldo Hernandez of the Rays. Looks good. It's like a team color matching type deal with the sapphire and the Rays. I think I grabbed this because he either at some point or in the past or is presently a Red Sox prospect or was involved in a trade. Not entirely sure, but this was like less than $1, and I love me some Atomic / Sapphire. Here's one for my Bogarts collection. This is the Ben Baller Chrome, just a base card. I think this B on the chain stands for Bogarts in this case, but others say Ben Baller. Either way, kind of a weird card. I'm not really too crazy about these, but again, this was like 60 cents, and it's another Bogarts card that I didn't own previously to increase that count by 1. Here's a cool Heritage Purple Chrome Miggy. Look at that rainbow action going on there. I know Lisa will appreciate this one, big Tigers fan, and she likes shiny cards, but great Cabrera. Love these Heritage Chrome inserts, and this was, up there for, cheaper than it should have been for a Miggy. So I went ahead and grabbed that, even though he is capless, which kind of drives me nuts. Here's a random football card, so I've spoken about this before. Do not consider myself a football collector at all, but I do have a Z Folio that I'm trying to fill with 360 just football cards that I think are cool, knowing almost nothing about football cards. And the most recent card to enter that binder will be this Drew Bledsoe Fleer Ultra Rookie. I love that Ultra was able to make cards across all the major sports in the early 90s with generally the same design. And I've spoken about this many times on the hockey front, but growing up among my childhood, circle of collecting friends, the foil rookie ribbon on the Ultra card was definitely a meaningful attribute on a trading card. And somehow, I guess it's not that surprising since I'm really not a football guy, but somehow had completely missed out on this Drew Bledsoe. Didn't even really realize that it existed and stumbled across it when I was just looking for really cheap cards to put in that Z Folio. So happy with that one. That's exactly the kind of card I'm looking for that, is not very valuable, but will be fun to kind of fill out that football card project. So next up, we got a 2019 Sapphire David Price. Pretty cool angle here with the ball coming into the foreground post-delivery. And of course, 2019 Sapphire is the year where it really just looks like an atomic parallel. Quite honestly, there's not even really any blue tint to it. Working on a Red Sox team set from this year, and recently landed the Mookie Betts, which was one of the bigger cards I was missing. And Price is kind of a fill-in around that Betts. Here's another shiny card for another project that I am working on. And this is the 2014 Topps Finest release. Misspoke there. To me, this is like the most colorful design in the history of Topps Finest, in my personal opinion. And big fan of all the different refractors from this year, and decided a while back that I wanted to try to complete a X-Fractor set. So there are 100 cards on the checklist. These X-Fractors are not numbered. They're, not exceedingly tough to find for most guys, but you get into like the Derek Jeters of the world. Mike Trout is in this release. There are some tough cards, but I'm plugging away at it, and I'm closer than you might think to being finished with this one. Probably, I would assume I'll wrap this up, around the same time as my 2011 Atomic Refractor project, but do have them in a binder, and this one will be joining them at the conclusion of this video. And this is, of course, Eric Hosmer. He's also sporting a retro Kansas City uniform there, which is a little bit odd. So very jarring color combination on this one. Here's another one for a set project. This is going into the Purple Z Folio, where I am working on, among other purple pursuits, a 2012 Topps Chrome complete set in purple refractor format. Needed this Jameel Weeks. It was available for like 30 cents. Done deal. Into the Z he will go. Got another shiny card here, this time on the hockey front, and it features Patrick Kane. This is a rainbow parallel out of O-Pee-Chee Platinum. Big believer in the O-Pee-Chee Platinum set. It is the Topps Chrome of the hockey world, in my personal opinion. And as such, the rainbow cards like this one are the Topps Chrome refractors of the hockey world. And like Topps Chrome, they don't have etching, which is a bummer, but they're still beautiful looking cards. And thanks to the e-pack promotion at COMC, this was available for like literally like 32 cents or something like that. So arguably the best American-born scorer in history. We'll see how his career winds down, but for 30 cents for essentially a refractor, I'll take that all day long. Here's another one of the canvas inserts that I'm always gushing about. This is from the 2016 release, and I like it because it uses the triple exposure, image there to show Kane emerging into the foreground. And this is kind of a throwback to some of those Upper Deck cards, from the dawn of Upper Deck in the early 90s, where they used this multiple exposure technique to create some pretty memorable cards. So I'm a big fan of this one for that reason. Connor McDavid and Alex Ovechkin, their canvas cards in this release, also use that technology, and I love those cards as well. So, and again, like the last one I showed, this was a sub 50-cent purchase, so you really can't go wrong at that price. And then the last card of the video here is going to be the second Star Wars card. This is L337 Droid. This is from the Star Wars On Demand 3D release that came out at the end of 2020, like in the last month of the year. Been kind of plucking away at these. I have them laid out in my non-sport Z Folio. I like the design. It's a throwback to the Return of the Jedi set from the early 80s, and it uses like that Kellogg's type 3D effect, same as they do on the 3D baseball releases of the last few years. So really cool set. Not much of a backstory behind this particular character, other than, it was a set need, and it was like 75 cents on the site. So I just scooped it up, and it will go into that set build. So that is a wrap. Looked at a little over a dozen cards there. We saw a lot of shine, some Star Wars, some hockey, baseball, and even a Willy Wonka card, which I'm particularly proud of. So just the kind of randomness that tends to come in when I eventually receive my COMC shipments. Definitely appreciate you stopping by to check it out. Again, if you wouldn't mind stopping by and giving my friend Sean a visit, would be greatly appreciated. And I will certainly be back here in the near future with some more sports card content. Until then, take care.